The devil has no arms, no legs, no physical form but yours. God Almighty created the natural universe and everything in it, all its contents. Not demons, not the devil, none of them. They don't have the ability to create anything. Just like us, we only have, God-given abilities. What God allows, what God gives. Satan, as Jesus said, he said the devil come to kill, steal, and destroy. That's all Satan can do. He has this power to influence folks. That's all he has. Work on people's minds and convince them through their spirit to do his will and his bidding. But he has no power. He doesn't have that ability. He can't do like God. God said, let there be light. Let the earth bring forth. God can speak into reality, whatever he wants. Satan doesn't have that ability or that power. And so in his effort to create mayhem and madness, he influenced people because Satan's whole objective is to prove God wrong. His whole thing, and that's what got him kicked out in the first place. His whole thing is he has a better way than God's way. This is the same thing that's happening to human beings today. That we do all this, we create all this stuff, technology, this, that, and the third, want to set our own standard. Because, we're saying our way is better than God's way. Our level of maturity is better than God's standard. We're striving for this self-determination and, we're able and capable to set our own standard. My youngest daughter said to me a short time ago, and as a matter of fact, shortly after she said that, I met a young couple from New York, and they echoed the same sentiments that, as if we shouldn't need a book to give us moral standards. As human beings, we're supposed to be able and capable to set our own standard, or we're supposed to know, within ourselves what wrong and right is, what good and bad is. So they kind of frowned on the Bible. Like, you gotta be soft that you need a book. As if everything that we learn, like when you go to school, you don't have textbooks. We just walk in the school with the math inside of us. We can determine our own mathematics and our own this and our whatever. Books are essential. Books are records. And we need books. And we need, because God, God gave his instructions once, gave it to Moses, gave it to the prophets, and lately gave it to Jesus, and Jesus passed it on to his apostles and disciples, and they recorded it, and it has come down to us. So it's a little simplistic to think that it's a problem that we have the Bible. I know for me, I didn't grow up in churches and whatnot, and this, that, or whatever. I learned about Jesus through the Bible, and I learned enough to be able to make a choice to surrender my life to following Him. Again, the devil has no arms, no legs, no physical form. And so he uses people. He has the power and the ability, and I mean, for reason known only to God Himself, He has allowed him, the ability to be able to influence people. And so he influences people to do his bidding, to commit his murders, his rapes, his homosexuality, his adultery. He influenced people to commit sin. Sin is his way. Righteousness is God's way. And so people who don't know, people who haven't made the choice to let Jesus lead us, to follow God's directions for us, that His directions for living that He has given to Christ, the devil is able to use and to use their arms, their legs, to do his mayhem and his madness. He has no power to create. He just has the ability and the to influence folks. See, when he spoke through the snake to Eve, he was just trying to coerce her, to influence her into doing what he could not do because he had no arms, no legs. Couldn't touch the fruit, had no arms, no legs. And so I say to you today, don't let the devil use your arms and your legs, your tongue, to create mayhem and madness. And the only way you can resist that, the only way you can prevent that, you've got to let Jesus Christ lead you. You have to learn about Jesus Christ, learn about God's standard for living, make the choice to follow Jesus Christ. Bless him.